So today I really wanted to start off by talking about my journey to Esquire. Um, I know that in the beginning of my journey in the scholarship program, I talked about my seminar paper during law school, which was the Crown Act. And I just wanted to be a little bit creative this time around and kind of give some background of who I am, where I came from, my upbringing, and just things like that before I started talking about law school and everything like that. So I'm here to talk about today who Leah is in her journey to Esquire. So this is my parents, Sharon, Bruce Lavelle. Um, and then to the right, this is an old picture of them and my brother. His name is Kyle. Myself, and then here's my baby picture. I'm surprised I was even able to like dig up all of these pictures, but my dad, he like is a picture hoarder, so I just went to him and got all these pictures from him. But my parents, they are absolutely my role models. um and I'll get to that on the next slide. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I grew up with an entrepreneur family. My parents started a jewelry business in Atlanta, Georgia. They were the first Black-owned fine jewelry owners. I don't know if it's still like that to this day, but it was a huge deal. I even tried looking for the newspaper article about it and everything. During that time, they also built some shopping centers. Another family picture of us, picture of me and my brother at the location of the shopping center. And just this time was pivotal for me because this is where I really learned about what was important to me from them and just how important work ethic was, and just seeing them grind literally every single day except Sundays because we had to go to church on Sunday. But every single day, working and just teaching me and my brother how important it is to have a good work ethic. And most importantly, I remember asking my dad, like, hey, how were you able to become successful to, you know, complete these things? And I remember he told me the number one thing that you have to have is service and helping others. And he said, if you don't help others along the way, then you're not going to be successful. And I remember that stuck with me because I'm like, what does helping people have to do with starting business or anything like that? But it made sense. And from there on, as I grew up, and now as an adult, the number one area that is important to me is service, because I understand that you have to help other, not have to, but that should be number one when you want to be successful. So let me go to this one. All right. So this is a fun video I'm going to play for you all, but first let me talk about the other two pictures. So this was my high school graduation in the top corner, and this picture down here was is, she's still alive, I shouldn't say was, is a picture of Judge Linda Walker. I don't know if anyone knows who she is, but she's a judge in Atlanta, Georgia, and a good family friend of my parents. And another thing during my upbringing that my family made sure that me and my brother did is there was this one summer where they called all their friends that were, in her case, she's a judge, a friend that was a chief of police, I can't remember what else I did. This was like so long ago at this point, but um, it sticks out to me, my conversation and shadowing with Miss Judge Walker, because at this time I was, I don't know, maybe in ninth, 10th grade. And I hung out with her at the courthouse, and she's, telling me what she does as a judge. And I came back home that night and said to my parents, I know one thing I don't want to do is be a lawyer because you have to read so much. And I just remember because she just had stacks, like it looked like a typical, courthouse judges chambers. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this does not look funny or fun. So it's just funny that, looking at where I am now as a child, I didn't appreciate what was going on. I just thought it was like some boring stuff. But I actually did meet with her again the summer before I attended law school, and it was a completely different story. I didn't feel like the same immature high school kid that was just like work. It was a lot more productive in the conversation. But again, like, I appreciate my parents for that, because I feel like you have to being exposed to as much as possible as a child, especially someone of color, because already there aren't that many people in these type of places, like as a judge, chief of police, like all of that. And especially living in Atlanta, that's a city where you will see people that look like you that are in high ranking jobs. And just, looking back, I appreciate that. And that's definitely helped me as an adult realize the importance of just having people that look like you around in these types of jobs as well. So I want to play a fun video. I've always been involved in some sort of speaking, political, whatever. So I'm just going to play a really quick video for you guys. It's like a minute, 30 seconds of my ninth grade. I was in ninth grade, and it is my speech of running for president of the ninth grade class. So hopefully you guys can hear this. I played it earlier.
Leah Victoria Lavelle. Most of you have heard my name before, but for the very few that haven't, I made up a slogan that will help you know and remember it. Leave it to Leah. You might wonder, what does it really mean to leave it to Leah? It means to solve our class's problems. Leave it to Leah to make our class healthier, excel, and be the best individuals that we can be. Let's be honest, as the ninth grade class president, I can't fix the economy or change the C you made on your last report card to an A. But what I can promise is that you can rely on me for any troubles you may have in school or out. And when you bring me these issues, I will promise I will represent all the voices of class 2013. I'm more than capable of representing your needs through my wide array of interests. I play basketball, I run track, I'm on the debate team. I make good grades, I'm interested in new ideas, new experiences, and open-minded. In conclusion, leave it to Leah to lead the class of 2013 to a successful future. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you, everyone. Vote for Leah, and don't forget to leave it to Leah.
Oh my goodness, I just want to like tear up looking at that video, because while I still see myself in that video, but just thinking about the growth and everything like that that I've had since then is just amazing. But I definitely wanted to make sure to include that in my presentation to kind of show that I've always just had this willingness to just want to serve, starting from, as I mentioned, my parents and how important they showed me, my brother, through high school, running for different being a part of different organizations and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please don't post it or anything, but yeah. So, okay, and then this. Oh, okay. These are just pictures of me that I have from doing community service. I know I keep honing in on this, but it's absolutely key. And I just feel like I can't, like when I'm not doing community service of some sort, I just don't feel like my life is complete. And I always try to um, stress that, because if you aren't helping others, then it really is hard to um, help yourself almost, because it's like you just don't have an accurate reality of what's going on. So have to keep talking about that. I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about that, but all right. And then I just want to briefly talk about what I was doing before law school. And now the number one question that I get in interviews is, how did you get to Stetson? How did you get to law school? So I will answer that with this slide. So let's start over to the right, actually. I was living in DC for about 3 years. It was amazing. The two pictures of at the bottom is me doing media interviews. So I was doing a lot of media communications. Top picture, I'm in the back on the right, attending these big, huge level meetings with presidents and agency secretaries. This middle picture at the top, I worked for the secretary. This was when I worked for the secretary of VA. So pretty much I was able to work at all levels of the government during my time in DC. And while I really enjoyed this experience, I'm absolutely grateful. It was an experience that most people will just never be able to see. For me, I felt like there was more that I needed to do, even though, yes, I was working for the government, and that's, essentially serving and helping people. I just felt like for me, I wasn't doing enough. And I just, would sit and just be like, what can I do? Like, what can I do to even more directly help other people? So I'll turn to this picture on the left of this is Sean Hopwood. And he was in this like 2017 60-minute special. I don't know like how I just remembered that new special, because obviously this is a weekly show and everything. But this particular special stuck with me. And it was about this guy right here. He came out the military, wasn't doing the right things and ended up robbing a bank and went to prison. And while he was in prison, pretty much taught himself the law was like getting people out, writing letters for other inmates and everything like that. And now he's like this super successful law professor at Georgetown. He's written books, and so let me tell you how he's involved in my personal story. So while I was working at the Department of VA, I saw that he was on my boss's calendar, and I said something to her and was like, hey, I saw this meeting on your calendar. This is someone I actually really look up to. Do you mind if I attend this meeting? And she was just like, I don't even know who this is. Sure. So I was like, okay, say less. So I attended this meeting, and it was a small meeting with like 3 other people and him and whoever. And I was able to have some like one-on-one time to kind of ask him like, hey, can you share more about, why you're like how you got to where you are? Like, obviously I know your story from 60 Minutes and everything like that. And he just really blew my mind essentially, and just talked about the issues with the prison system. He was in solitary confinement, and just talked about the issues with that. The course that he teaches at Georgetown is prison law. And I was just so intrigued, like everything he was telling to me, like I was just so intrigued. And at the end of the meeting, he was like, hey, here's my email, like feel free to attend one of my classes. And that's exactly what I did. Like I attended one of his classes one day and sat through it. And again, this is Georgetown University. So I'm thinking I'm like rolling up and it's just going to be some like, you know, how those type of schools are thought of. So I sat through the class and I was like, this is law school. I can do this. I can absolutely do this. And from there, I took the LSAT. I took the January LSAT at that. And it's funny because everyone told me not to turn in my scores from January, because they say that if you turn in your January LSAT, you don't get into law school. But I did it and I got into Stetson at that, and ended up moving to Florida. And so now, let's see. Okay. So yeah, now just to kind of bring things full circle, I hope that you all were able to learn a little bit more about me before law school, because I know that's just something that I don't really talk about. But now, looking at Leah now, these pictures are all within the past year or so. And just from being in law school and competing in competitions where I'm able to essentially learn how to be a better advocate, so that when I do come out and graduate in less than a month, I'll be able to effectively, advocate for my clients that need it. And I just really want to thank this program for helping me get through this process as well. This picture in the middle, St. Pete Bar, they were the ones that represented me in this scholarship. And I will definitely say they went and still go above and beyond with making sure that I have everything I need, as far as they're always asking me if there's anyone that they should connect me with, or inviting me to events. The last event a couple weeks ago, I actually attended. Hillary Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was the speaker, and I got a chance to talk to her and talk about hair. And that's something, like, who would have thought I'd ever be talking to Hillary Banks, like one-on-one about hair? Like that's amazing. But again, like that's something that wouldn't have happened without this program. And it's just amazing to be able to be a part of something that where, we're able to help each other, especially students of color, where, again, there's only a few of us in these higher positions, like attorneys and everything like that I talked about earlier. But I can absolutely say that this experience has exceeded my expectations, and just being connected with people that I wouldn't have received those connections just through my school. Obviously love Stetson. Stetson's amazing, but the connections that I've been able to receive from this are again, I wouldn't have had this experience just attending law school. So I definitely appreciate that. And just to kind of close up, here's a fun picture of me. That's my dog, Creed. We like to go swimming in the water. And then this is my headshot from the program. So a more serious picture of me. And yeah, so I hope you all were able to learn a little bit more about myself, and not just myself as a law student or myself as someone that write seminar papers, but I hope you're able to see how a little bit how I was raised and how that has helped me through this process. The journey of Leah to Esquire is obviously not complete. There's still a ways that I have to go. I still, don't exactly know where I'll end up, but I'm very excited about this journey. And I hope to stay in touch with all of you all after this. So thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you to all the board. And thank you all for listening to me talk today.